Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos and big breaking news. Just to update you, I'm going to update you on a bit more transfer news now. Apparently now AC Milan, the Serie A Italian team, are willing to put a staggering £80 million bid in. This is coming from Bet365. It's just been reported in The Sun, and the Italian giants are apparently preparing to put an £80 million bid in for Sergio Aguero in January. Now we know the player who's been at Manchester City since 2011. We know the player that's been in fantastic form since he's arrived at Manchester City. He's already got 7 goals this season, I think, from 8 starts, something like that. But due to he hasn't featured due to a car accident he's currently had, and he's broke both his ribs, so he's currently not in action at the moment. I don't think Aguero is a player that's made 2 century appearances in the Premier League and scored over a century of goals now for Manchester City. He scored 30 goals last season, as well did Sergio Aguero. His ratio is very good. He's a very good prolific goal scorer, Sergio Aguero. And you know, he's won Premier League with City, he won FA Cup, won League Cup with Manchester City, but him and Gabriel Jesus are just at the absolute flourish in Manchester City. But he's saying AC Milan are preparing to put apparently an £80 million bid in. They are monitoring the player because obviously City are still interested in Sanchez, and then obviously for them to get Sanchez, they may have to offload Aguero as part of the deal. And with Atletico Madrid, you know, he's fantastic. Won the Europa League, won the Super Cup with Atletico Madrid. As I said, he also in all competitions scored over century goals in 239 appearances for Atletico Madrid, and in La Liga he made 174 appearances and scored 74 goals. In the process did Sergio Aguero, and City have had him since 2011. They had paid £35 million for him, but he's a very good striker. His ratio is very good. He's good at scoring goals. He's played as a second striker before as Sergio Aguero. Obviously, there were talks during the window of Sanchez and Aguero as a swap deal. There were talks of Sanchez and Raheem Sterling as a swap deal, but City were reluctant and were resisted to offload both of them players. So it's saying AC Milan, who obviously spent quite a lot of money in the August window, are lining up a move for Sergio Aguero, an £80 million bid. That will definitely test Manchester City's stance regarding Sergio Aguero for definite. It will test City's stance over the player. It will test their stance because £80 million is a lot of money for Sergio Aguero. In the process, City being very consistent this season, they're training interesting football, just like Manchester United are. And City did spend a lot of money in the August window. You know, we spent a lot of money in the August window. So apparently AC Milan are lining up an £80 million bid. Now also regarding the Antonio Martial situation, guys. Apparently now Arsenal are interested in the player because obviously he's been limited as substitutes this season for Manchester United. All in all, in the Premier League, Martial, just in the Premier League, has made 62 appearances. He's scored 18 goals, but all in all, he has nearly made a century appearances and scored 30 goals since he's been at Manchester United. I think this is his 3rd season in the process. We had paid £58 million for him from Monaco, but apparently Arsenal are interested in him, and even if Man United consider offloading the player, he will not come cheap, especially, but I just don't think Jose Mourinho is willing to offload the player because he's good young talent, he's experienced, and he was very good under the Van Gaal era. Didn't do so good last season, but I said this season he's scoring, he's providing as well, he's creating, and he's made a massive impact this season as Antonio Martial. So it's saying Arsenal could be weighing up a move, and they think, you know, because he can play anywhere in the middle, he can play on the left, can Martial. But he's only started 1 Premier League game this season from the start. He did start in the Carabao Cup. He did start in the Champions League as well, did Antonio Martial. I think he scored like 5 goals this season. It's 6 goals, something like that, and provided quite a few assists as well, Antonio Martial. But apparently from Arsenal's perspective, he's an ideal replacement for Alexis Sanchez, because obviously they've got a few replacements on their radar of Arsenal Football Club for Sanchez, because they know he's going to go. Obviously they'd rather cash in on Sanchez and Ozil rather than let them go 3 next summer. But Manchester City are convinced they can get a £20 million deal over the line for Sanchez in January. It said AC Milan had also been interested. They were willing to spot £75 million in. Arsenal would have benefited from it. Real Madrid had discussions regarding Alexis Sanchez. PSG have still got an interest in him. Bayern Munich had an interest in him. It still says Man United have got an interest in him. The player that's risen up the ranks underneath. He's now made over a century appearances with Arsenal Football Club. He's definitely refusing to sign a new deal with Arsenal Football Club. Is Sanchez, because obviously he's demanding a higher wage. he turned down £400,000. He turned down £300,000 a week from Arsenal, and he's made over century appearances for Arsenal. Scored 53 goals, scored 24 goals last season. He's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with Arsenal. But as I said, I still think City are emerged as the front runners to go on and get Alexis Sanchez. Because him and Pep Guardiola, were absolutely fantastic together at Barcelona. Obviously, during the August window, Arsenal's main priority target were Lemar, but didn't get a deal over the line. But I think Lacazette and Sanchez did look a good partnership for Arsenal, if I'm going to be quite fair. But Sanchez, they know Arsenal, he's going to definitely go in the window. Sanchez is going to go in the January window, as I said. City had a 50 million bid turned down, but initially had a 60 million bid accepted, but didn't materialise due to the Arsenal couldn't find that replacement. They generated a lot of money in the August window, Arsenal, for the departure of their players. They could still see more players go, as I said. And this is the first time in 2 decades they have not had Champions League football, and that's Arsenal's target this season, just to basically qualify for the Champions League and progress in the Europa League. They're doing well in the Europa League so far. But Arsenal need to reinvest in the January window, because they know Sanchez is going to go, apparently. And Arsene Wenger was ruthless regarding the player, because he said he wanted Champions League football. He said he was going to stay, and Arsenal would have softened their stance. They would have let the player go if they could have found that replacement. If City were willing to offer Raheem Sterling, they'd let him go. Offer Aguero as part of the deal, they'd let him go. But never ever materialised in the process. But City hitting form, Aguero's hitting form, as I said. Raheem Sterling's hitting form. Gabriel Jesus is doing very, very well for them. So. But yes, as I said, start the video, apparently AC Milan are willing to put an £80 million bid in for Sergio Aguero. So whether this is true or not, it's just been reported in a couple of media outlets. I'm not quite sure, but you just don't know all the time, guys, if it is actually true. You're never quite sure if it is true. But with Martial, apparently Arsenal are out of move, as I said. Probably, when he's on his game, when he's playing his best, he's probably one of the best young age prospects out there. He's Antonio Martial. I just can't see Jose Mourinho willing to offload him as well. But Man United, are targeting the Dries Mertens, as well as this ex Serie A club director had actually confirmed that Man United are actually targeting Dries Mertens from Napoli. He won Belgian Football of the Year, made over 50 appearances since his debut in 2011, the player for Belgium. He's got a 28 million release clause, as I said. The ex-director said we're interested in the player. He's very, very good. 7 goals and 7 starts this season. In the Serie A, 35 appearances last season, 28 goals and 9 assists for the player as well. But he signed a new deal back in May, did the player, and he has got a deal with Napoli until 2020. He is highly experienced. As I said, he's an ex-PSV player, but he's now been at Napoli. I think this is his 5th season in the process. Apparently, Manchester United are interested in him. And Jose Mourinho is targeting quite a few players, because he spent over £300 million in 2 transfer windows, as I said. So we will see what happens in the process of that. But yeah, as I was saying, what else is Mourinho targeting? They said apparently, with the Emre Can situation, as I did update you guys yesterday with Emre Can, apparently the chef scout has actually urged Jose Mourinho now to go on and sign Emre Can from Liverpool. I can't see Liverpool willing to offload him in January, especially Emre Can. It's saying Man United have entered the race, because obviously we know Juventus have actually been heavily linked with Emre Can. Obviously he's coming to an end of his deal. He has refused to sign a new deal. I think Liverpool are still in the process of trying to secure a new deal. But we know Emre Can is actually demanding a release clause as part of him securing a new deal. And also they're demanding a higher wage as well. But very, very good player, as I said, for Liverpool. He will become a free transfer next summer. He's free to discuss with other teams. January, he's versatile. He's very, very good. He's skillful. He's good in the air. He's combative. He can play as defensive mid. He can play as a centre back. Can play as a full back as well. Very, very good in the Confederations Cup, as I said. And he's made over 100 appearances since he joined Liverpool in all competitions. Since Liverpool have had him now, this is his 4th season in the process, because Liverpool had paid £10 million for him from Bayer Leverkusen. But in the Premier League, he's nearly hit a century appearances, Emre Can, and he has scored 7 goals, and he's had a fine start to this season, as well as Emre Can as well in the process. But I do really like him. He's still a youngster, you know. He was very good with Munich, where he'd risen up the ranks fantastically well. He played mostly in the reserve team with Bayern Munich, but went to won honours with them, went to Leverkusen. Liverpool have paid 9 million, nearly £10 million for the player, and his progression has been actually quite good for Liverpool Football Club, so they could still see Emre Can go, whether it be January, whether it be next summer, if he doesn't sign a new deal with Liverpool Football Club. And it's Manchester United are actually interested in Emre Can as well. And you've also got what else was I going to say? And you've also got, obviously, Mourinho's looking at quite a few midfielders, as I said, in the process. You know why? Because obviously now, as I brought the news to you yesterday about Marian Fellaini, very bad. He said he could be sidelined for months. Could Marian Fellaini due to that Belgium played Bosnia in a World Cup qualification game yesterday. Fellaini had only been on for the first half of the half an hour mark, and he had to be substituted off because he suffered a bad knee injury, which is a concern, and he could be out for months. And they found ligament damage in his current knee as well, Marian Fellaini. So that is very bad news. You know, the player that's been very good. He's been very impressive for this season. You know, he's full Paul Pogba spot fantastically well. He's scored goals. You know, he's creating. His link up plays looking very good this season. You know, Fellaini has made a big impact this season, as he did from last season. Did Fellaini. But he could be out. He's definitely going to be out for the Liverpool game. Also, concerns about Romelu Lukaku. You know, it's suggested he suffered an ankle injury. The player that's nearly hit a century of goals in the Premier League. He scored 11 goals in all competitions for Manchester United this season. He suffered an ankle injury, but he did have an MRI scan that didn't detect any damage whatsoever. But he did miss the Belgium-Bosnia game yesterday. But it did say he could be in doubt, Lukaku, due to his ankle injury for the for Belgium's game against Bosnia and Cyprus. And they said what had been reported. So that is concerned. So Lukaku, our most clinical striker, our most clinical striker, could be out for Liverpool, and I think Fellaini's going to be definitely out for the Liverpool game as well. But we've still got the likes of Rashford, who's going developing into his game, making a big impact on last season, as I said, and Martial, that can still cause problems for Liverpool because obviously they're not good enough for converting chances. At the back, they're very bad defensively, a Liverpool Football Club. So Klopp will still look to reinvest, especially in their defensive line, where Liverpool do need to strengthen up. But Man United obviously looking midfielders, because obviously we've still got Aguero coming to an end of his deal, who hasn't featured much for Man United this season. We've still got Fellaini coming to the end of his deal, but Jose Mourinho will be desperate that Man United can secure Fellaini a new deal, because he said he's a key member of the squad. He's a big admirer of the player, is Jose Mourinho, regarding Marian Fellaini. Jose Mourinho blocked his move to Galatasaray, as I said, during the window as well. I think Fellaini's keen on a long-term deal, but I think the club are just keen on signing him with a 1-year extension, considering his age. But we have a transfer policy of players aged 30 or over not to sign them long-term deals. But I think Fellaini is keen on a long-term deal with Manchester United. We've still got Juan Mata that's coming to an end of his deal as well. Hopefully we can secure him a new deal, because I really like Juan Mata. He's made now 2 century appearances for Manchester United since his arrival from Chelsea. Well, he's made 2 century appearances all in all now in the Premier League. He scored his first goal this season against Palace. And, he can play on the right, he can play in the middle, can matter. Just like Mkhitaryan can play on the right, can play in the middle as well. Mkhitaryan's done well this season, scored a couple of goals. He's provided quite a lot of assists as well. So, he's done quite well for the Manchester United this season. Still got Michael Carrick, who I presume Mourinho's still looking at a few midfielders, for a replacement for Michael Carrick. Obviously, I think he's going to retire at the end of the season, is Michael Carrick. Won every single domestic cup, made over 3 century appearances now for Manchester United, been at the club over a decade as Michael Carrick. So Mourinho's looking at a few midfielders for that as well. But yeah, and we know in the press in the last couple of days, the reports have been breaking out about Mesut Ozil from Arsenal Football Club. That's been breaking out. Could he be the next possible Manchester United player, Mesut Ozil? Because obviously he's keen on reuniting with Jose Mourinho. They were actually fantastic, together at Real Madrid, where Ozil and Jose Mourinho. You know, they were fantastic together at Real Madrid. He made over a century appearances at Real Madrid during his 3-year period. He's now made over a century appearances for Arsenal. But it's confirmed Arsenal are nowhere near close to agreeing to sign Ozil a new deal with Arsenal Football Club. The contract talks have stalled in this situation between the player, between Arsenal, the player and his representatives. The contract talks have stalled. There's no more further negotiations, I think, that have taken place about securing him a new deal. He was demanding a higher wage in his package as well. The rumours saying he turned down £275,000 a week from Arsenal, but I think this is being classified as false. And Arsenal have paid £42.5 million for him, the highest paid fee for the German player. Also was in Bundesliga for 5 years as well. But I do like him, you know, he's got a very, very good... He's good at creating chances, as I said, really good at creating opportunities. Very, very good at providing assists as well as music Ozil. But he's very, very good. He's Ozil, and to be fair, you know, he does operate well in that number 10 role as music. Ozil did say Inter Milan had been interested. I think they've dropped their interest now. And it's actually saying Man United may make a move for him. He may not leave in January because either way, Arsenal would rather cash in on him because he will become a free transfer next summer, will Ozil, just like Alexis Sanchez will. But Ozil could still stay if he does decide to sign a new deal, but I can't see it the way it's going that Ozil is going to sign a new deal with Arsenal Football Club. So that's another midfielder that Man United could get. There's quite a few players on his radar. You know, there's quite a few players on his radar. You know, it's still saying, you know, I think Man United, I said next number 7 is still. I'm still convinced that he's going to be Anton Griezmann, guys. As I do keep updating you on that in the process. I still think it's going to be Anton Griezmann, our next number 7, because I think now Diego Costa arriving, going back to Atletico Madrid, can accelerate us getting our pursuit of Anton Griezmann, you know, the player that we were heavily linked to during the August window. He estimated 6 out of 10 he was coming to Old Trafford, but due to the transfer ban, a deal never materialised. But I think we've got number 7 vacant, and I think, you know, he could be possibly our next number 7. And yeah, I've already updated you, know, with the Coutinho situation. Barcelona are going to will to go for him in January, Philippe Coutinho as well, apparently. And I think they're willing to put a £97 million bid in, including add-ons as part of the deal as well. Coutinho, you know, since his arrival, since he's been at Liverpool, he's become one of the most creative midfielders. Very, very good playmaker. I said hit over a century appearances now for Liverpool, scored 36 goals and assisted 30. I think he's got a 4 or 5 year deal left with Liverpool Football Club. As we know, he could still go in January because obviously he wanted to make the move because obviously he put a transfer request in. But I said Liverpool board, Liverpool owners and Jurgen Klopp were not willing to accept any bids whatsoever off Barcelona because Barcelona had 3 bids turned down by Liverpool in the process, 72, 89 and 114 million. But Liverpool were reluctant and were resisted to actually offload Philippe Coutinho, I know the ex-Inter Milan player, you know, the ex-Espanyol player. He scored 14 goals and 7 assists last season for Liverpool, and he made a big impact since he's been at Liverpool Football Club as well. You know, very, very good for Brazil as well, but it was Barcelona's main priority tag because he would have elevated to a higher level. You know, he'd been challenging for trophies, he'd been at such a big, massive club, he'd have been playing amongst better players, but a deal just never materialised. So Barcelona may return in January for him as well. And it's still saying, you know, that Man United could actually return for Ivan Perisic next summer, and that's another player that Man United, you know, were heavily linked with during the August window. Perisic, obviously, we know that we didn't get a deal over the line because obviously Inter Milan were demanding £48 million. We were willing to meet that £48 million. I think we had 2 or 3 bids turned down in the process. But now obviously Ivan Perisic just signed a new deal with Inter Milan. I think he's got a £54 million release clause, so it's going to be harder for teams to get even Perisic in the process. Obviously, there was trying to basically demand Martial as part of the deal. Man United were not willing to go along with this. They were trying to demand basically Martial as part of the deal, as I said. But, you know, with regression, Mourinho was not willing to offload him, so this is why that deal didn't happen. And obviously, you know, there had been discussions between the agent and Inter Milan officials regarding his future. There had been discussions between Ed Woodward and the player's agent trying to get a deal over the line, but a deal never ever materialised. You know, the ex-Borussia Dortmund, the ex-Wolfsburg player, and you know, he scored 11 goals and provided 12 assists last season. He's doing very well this season as well for the Inter Milan. He's even Perisic, but he's highly experienced, very good in the air, skillful, good at putting balls into the box, got very good physical attributes. But I do really like him. His versatility is very good. But yeah, it said Man United could actually return for even Perisic next summer because you know, Lucius Spelt actually rebuffed at the Inter Milan manager. He said he basically, you know, Lucius Spelt rebuffed it. He said he can't keep him against his own will because obviously at one point Perisic joined the Ajax when they wanted to make the move, but then he said a couple of days or day after that he's convinced that even Perisic will stay with Inter Milan, and he basically ended up staying with Inter Milan. So he has now got a new deal, and I think he's got a 54 million or is it a 60 or whatever release clause as part of the new deal that he signed with Inter Milan until 2022 in the process as well. But I think Man United still need a winger. You could still say we'll potentially need a left back. Obviously, you know, we've still got Rojo injured. Ashley Young has done very well at the left back position since he's come back into the team. We've still got Zlatan injured up front, but he's coming back in December. Paul Pogba, very disappointing. He's injured. Mourinho classified his injury as long term, just like Rojo and Zlatan's, and that's disappointing as well. But yeah, as I said, like I said yesterday, looks like Fellaini's out for the game. Looks like Lukaku's going to be out by the looks of things. That's two important injuries that were two very essential players that are injured. So that is disappointing. So good start of the video. You know, as I said, AC Milan are willing to put an £80 million bidding apparently for Sergio Aguero. This is basically what's being reported. Whether it's true or not, I do not know, because I did say yesterday AC Milan were actually monitoring the move Sergio Aguero, because if City gets Sanchez, then that could see Aguero fall down the pecking order at Manchester City, especially. And yeah, as I said, Arsenal apparently think that Martial, because he's only started one Premier League game this season, that he will be a suitable replacement. Arsenal saying Martial will be a suitable replacement for Alexis Sanchez. Said Martial in Premier League has made 62 appearances, scored 18 goals, all in all, nearly a century appearances in all competitions, and scored 30 goals for Manchester United. We did pay £58 million for Monaco. This was including add-ons as well as part of the deal. Was initially 36 million, but it said it could rise to 58 million pound that we paid for the youngster. But very good plays. Only made one start this season in the Premier League, but he's done well when he's come off the bench. He's scored quite a few goals. You know, he's provided quite a few assists as well. I think he started in the Carabao Cup. He started in the Champions League as well, did Antonio Martial. But I just can't see Mourinho willing to sanction Martial off unless Arsenal come up, you know, with a staggering amount of money. Then that may test our stance regarding Martial. But he's dramatically improved this season. You know, he wasn't very good last season. He was good under the Van Gaal era, but this season Martial and Rashford are doing very well, especially in the team. So I can't see him. Jose Mourinho willing to actually sanction Antonio Martial. So anyway guys, well my phone just crashed. Anyway guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel, subscribe to the channel as always, and take it easy guys, and I'll see you all later. Take care, bye.